Well, hello and welcome to another Wednesday conversation. Today we're talking about why is it so hard for you to choose yourself and why that gets harder as we get older. You know, I have a couple of questions for you. One, if you're the type of person who makes a to-do list, is your name on that list? Or do you, when you wake up in the morning, think about the priorities for the day? Are you one of the priorities? Probably not. I talk to too many women who say that in the day to day, week to week, that their needs and desires don't pop up. They're probably, that they are meeting the needs of their families, their children, their grandchildren, their spouses, their partners. And it doesn't get easier as we get older. In fact, it gets harder. And that's confusing because usually by, a certain point, we've already proven ourselves. We have proven that we are capable and dependable and reliable, right? But we somehow don't show up for ourselves. That's the conversation we're going to have today. But before we jump in, let me just say for people who are joining me for the first time, I'm Constance Howard. I'm an executive coach for women who are 55 and older, women who want to make a significant change in their life, but don't know where to start, women who are dealing with confidence issues and limiting beliefs. I was one of those women for many, many years. And putting myself on the to-do list was something that was foreign to me. When I was 55, I thought, okay, I'm going to push really hard. I'm going to work really hard for the next 5 years, and then I'm going to slow down. I'm going to take time for me. Now, this may sound familiar to many women because we think, oh, one day in a year or two, one day in 5 years, I'll slow down and I'll make time for some of the stuff that I want to do. I'll figure out some of the things that, light me up and I'll go for those things, right? That's what I thought. But 55 came and went. 60 came and went. And I was still pushing myself, still proving myself to who I don't know now that I look back on it, because I had done everything that I had set out to do in my TV career. But I was still pushing. I was still trying to decide when was the best time to step away from a career that I spent my whole life building. And listen, everything in me told me that it was time to leave that career. I was in TV news. Everything inside me told me that now was the time to leave. That inner voice that was whispering to me at 55 was now screaming when I was 60, 62, 63. But I couldn't come to grips with one question, which was, what would you do? What would you do now? Who are you? Right? Those are the questions that scared me back into, working longer, working harder, even though I wanted to step away, even though it was time to step away. And I know a lot of women who are in that position. You want to try something new. You're not quite sure what that new is. You want to become a different person, but you don't know who that person is. What you know is that you feel stuck, right? You feel stuck and you don't know how to get unstuck. So you keep doing what you do all the time. You go back to that comfort zone. And I totally get it. Listen, I was there, as I told you. I was there. Even though it was uncomfortable for me, I stayed because, there's some reward that we get in that, being considered the reliable one, being considered, the consistent one, and being, the person who everybody could count on, you know. But In that, what you're saying is that your needs and desires are negotiable. They don't even have to be met. You don't even think about them. What you're saying is that it's okay for you not to be on your to-do list. And that really isn't okay. And I think there are times when, if we're honest in our life, we, become resentful. Become resentful of the people who have become used to relying on you. There were points in my career where I would just feel like screaming, like, "Figure it out on your own. Go do it for yourself." But I never did. I would just stuff it down and keep going. A week or 2 ago, I did a, workshop for women, and the workshop was all about how do you create boundaries. And, the women talked about how hard it is for them to create boundaries, because they're used to being, the caregiver. They're used to being the go-to person. And one woman even said to me, "We've been conditioned. We've been conditioned to think that it is our responsibility to meet the needs of everybody else around us, but not to take care of our needs." If that's you, put it in the chat because I'd love to know. Because the truth of the matter is, your needs are just as important as the needs of those around you. And when you start putting yourself on your to-do list or making yourself a priority, it isn't that you're becoming selfish. There's no need to feel guilty about taking care of yourself first. You know that saying, you can't pour from an empty cup. And it's so true for many women. We are really running on fumes, but yet we keep going because we have this misguided idea that we need to be superwomen, and that's not true. So, for the women I talked to in this seminar, as I said, they felt guilty putting themselves first or setting boundaries. But there's nothing wrong with you acknowledging your needs and desires. It's just unfamiliar. You're not used to doing it. And that's why you feel guilty. That's why you feel like this is a selfish thing to do because you haven't done it before. You are out of your comfort zone. But I want to tell you that before you run back to your comfort zone, take a minute. Take a minute to think about what it is you want in this season of your life. What is that yearning inside you? What are you stuffing down? What are you ignoring that you should take a moment to think about? You should be on your to-do list. You should be a priority. And that doesn't mean that you are abandoning those that you love. That doesn't mean that you're not concerned about those around you, your colleagues. It doesn't mean that. It means that you are finally taking time for yourself, and it's okay. You are no longer abandoning yourself. There comes a time when you have to become the priority in your life. You don't have anything more to prove. You don't have anything more to give, right? I'm sure a lot of you feel that way. So if you find yourself in that situation, if you are at the point where you want to choose yourself, it's time for you to choose yourself, but you're struggling with that, I want you to take baby steps. One, change your mindset around that. Realize that you are not, as I said, abandoning those who love you or those who need you. That's not what you're doing. You're not pushing people away. You're simply taking care of yourself. Change your mindset around the idea of choosing yourself and think how important it is to choose yourself. Think about all the more, how should I say this? I want you to think about if you feel fulfilled, think about how much more you can give to those around you when you are living the life that you want to live, the life that lights you up, that makes you happy. You are able to give more to the people around you. And you are telling the people around you that you are important, but also that they should make themselves important, especially, especially your daughters. That was one of the things that came up in that seminar I told you about. The fact that these women were working all the time, nonstop. That was a message to their daughters that that's what they should do as well. You don't want to convey that message to your daughter. You want her to know that her dreams and her hopes and dreams, they all matter. And she should take time to figure out what it is she wants to do. And she should always take care of herself. So let's start with your mindset. I want you to change your mindset around making yourself a priority. And then I want you to take baby steps. So this week, set aside time just to do whatever you want to do. Take a walk, read a book, figure out the next chapter in your life. What are some of the things that you've always wanted to do that now, once you slow down, you can do? Once you make yourself a priority and free up some of your time, you will have time to do some of the things that you've always wanted to do. Journal. Journal about the next season of your life. So once you start taking these baby steps of changing your mindset around choosing yourself and giving yourself an opportunity to do whatever you want, to dream and to become whoever you want, then they take the first step. Carve out a half hour, 45 minutes. Carve out a day. Carve out as much time as you need to start feeling comfortable with making yourself a priority. This whole idea of choosing yourself, it's one of the foundations that will build your confidence. When you know who you are and what you want and where you're going and the person you want to become in the next season of your life, you move more confidently. And you're not asking or looking around for approval or for validation. Including yourself in your daily equation is not selfish. It's self-protection and it's self-leadership, because only you can decide what is important to you. And only you can decide to start making yourself a priority. If this conversation has resonated with you, I want you to put your thoughts in the comments below, because I would love to follow up with you. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know what you're struggling with, because I can build an episode around that issue. And while you're down there, please hit the subscribe and the like button so you'll be notified when any new episodes are posted. I appreciate your support and I thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you next week.